So I'm not sure what's going on today, but this is the busiest I've ever seen the Delhi Police parking lot. In fact, there's people parking all the way down over there. I'm not sure if there's an event in this building here or if it's in the actual PD here, but I came with my dog today. I didn't see any no dog signs on the way in to visit the veteran park over here today. I noticed these two ladies over here. They were kind of nice, but kind of short on the information when I spoke with them. I would say polite, but I'm sorry. I'm gonna plead the fifth. I'm sorry, I'm gonna come over. I can't hear what you're saying.
Just don't film us.
Did you say you're gonna confiscate my recording device? Are you in law enforcement, sir?
Nobody's gonna confiscate anything.
She just said it though on camera. Are you denying what she said? Are you making idle threats, ma'am? Are you making idle threats is my question. Can I get your name and badge number? Anyone here, an official public employee willing to identify themselves? That's fine. I'll go in here right now and make a police report for you threatening to take my camera away from me. I just want to make sure I get a good picture of you, ma'am. And I'm going to ask at this time, ma'am, that you not flee the scene. You just committed a crime. She threatened to take my property, sir. That's a crime. I'm going to go into the police department and report this crime. I'm going to ask you not flee the scene, sir. I'm asking you not to flee the scene, ma'am. That's a crime. Lieutenant Rich, this woman just committed a crime. I got on camera. I'd like to file a police report. She threatened to confiscate my camera. I did no crime. She said, I'm going to take that camera. I'd have to see exactly what she said, but this is the claim I'm making at this time from memory. She threatened to take my property without any due cause, any good cause.
I will say this. I don't know, there's different things with federal government. I don't know what. I don't know what she would take it for, you know. It'd be somebody to check because they're DEA, they're federal versus local.
So federal can come in the Delhi Township and take a man's property who committed no crime without any due process? That was the threat she made. She can make that kind of threat? That's what I understand.
There's different...
And I understand what you're saying,
you know
but you'd say it warrants an investigation?
It'd be something we could, I'll bring it up with their supervisor to see what...
No, I want a criminal investigation. I'm asking to file a criminal police report right now for a member of the public. I don't know who she is. She has on a DEA.
Criminal.
So if I threaten to take someone's property, I go out there and somebody I don't even know and I say, hey, I'm going to take your shit. That's not a crime? To threaten to take someone's property? I'm going to confiscate your shit.
What I'm getting at
when I leave, I'm going to take some of these trees with me. I mean, it's crazy that you're trying to defend this on camera, Rich.
Just like us, like we have the right to confiscate people's property, but we have to do it in the right perimeter.
That's right.
And there's got to be perimeters. There's got to be. There's certain laws.
Now's the time to capture the truth.
There's certain laws and certain sanctions as to that gives us the right to do that or not do that. But there's also different levels that where I can do certain things at a local level as a police officer that federals can do different federal laws. I don't know what all those laws are because I'm not federal. Okay, so
what is the crime generally when somebody threatens to confiscate or take someone else's property? Like if I went up to this U-Haul guy and said, I'm going to take your property out of your hand, the property he has in his hand, I said, I'm going to take it.
You can say anything. It's the action that you do.
So I can go and start threatening these people? Because you wouldn't even let me video. Your department wouldn't even let me video record on a traditional public sidewalk, and it's now being listed to restrain my rights. I was up on Rapid Run, traditional public sidewalk. And y'all threatened me with what? I forget, disturbing the peace or something? This woman threatens to take my property. I'm going to confiscate your camera.
But that's not a crime.
And that's not a crime.
If she takes it, it's a crime.
So she can threaten all she wants.
But she may be allowed under certain
but she can threaten all she wants. But now's the time, before they get there together and start making up lies about me, because that's what I'm finding out governments do. They lie about me.
Because they're a whole different entity. I have no jurisdiction over them. I can talk with my boss, and I'll talk with her boss.
So this is no complaint. No, you ain't even gonna no police report.
I'll document it. But
are you gonna go and investigate it and say, hey, why did you ask? Why this is it on? You're not authorized to. You're not authorized to enforce law on the police department. There she is right there. That's the criminal. That's the criminal.
It's it's something with her supervisor we have to deal with.
Well, you ask her right now. She's first-hand party to the crime that's being alleged.
I'm not right now. I'm going to talk to Jeff to talk to her supervisor because.
Are you all doing business with them?
They rented that building. They have that building.
Okay, so they rented the building from you. So you're obviously biased because you're profiting as a member of the township.
But they're
profiting from them.
They're like, you have state, you have Hamilton County, you have the state level, then you have the federal level. They're up here on the federal level. I'm down here on the level.
Well, will you call the sheriff's department for me? Because I don't have a phone. I can't contact them. And here's the way I see it. Sheriff's department is here and federal's here.
They won't deal with that.
Does the sheriff's department have authority over the federal?
No.
They don't? Because I've seen sheriffs hold down federal's back.
They don't.
Wow, so they can pretty much, you're saying that it's not a crime to threaten to take someone's property. That's what you're saying, right? Like this person right here, if she comes out with a phone in her hand, I can say, hey, I'm going to confiscate your phone.
You can say all you want until you try and do it.
So you're saying that's legal? So no. I can legally go over here and say, sir, look, this man right here, I can say, sir, and I can threaten to take his property, and that's not a crime.
Here's the thing. She may be allowed to under certain federal stipulations.
If you investigated, you may find that's true.
But I'm going to talk with Jeff to talk to their boss.
Because right now, I suspect they're making up stories.
It's not for me to investigate.
All of a sudden, she's smelling something. All of a sudden, now they're putting pressure on you that, hey, Rich, you must have smelled something too.
Well, they're a whole different level. They're a whole different level.
Did she say she wanted to search my car? Did she say she wanted to confiscate the camera?
If she did, she'd have to have certain reasons.
Will you send me the case number and a link so that I can submit this video evidence to you? This is the evidence that I'm claiming that it is a crime to threaten to take somebody's property and confiscate it against their will. What she just threatened is a crime. That's my opinion.
Rights and stuff is a federal level. There may be federal different things she's allowed to operate under. Just like I could.
Oh, because just like under the Patriot Act, they can pretty much, she could have bent me over, put a strap on, done her way with me after she pulled my pants down and claimed Patriot Act. Right? Could have done that. Because that's fine. If that's what we're allowed to do, we're allowed to go around and start but we can't audio video record from a traditional public sidewalk in front of a middle school. That's a no-go. But threatening to confiscate someone's property with no due cause.
She may have due cause. I don't know. I don't know what that is under the federal.
No, I'm stating she has no due cause.
You know?
I just told you what happened. I'll give you the video evidence. You send me a link. I'll send you the video. And then you can start with the cover-up that I believe y'all are going to do. It's going to get covered up because I can just tell from your attitude.
But it ain't
now.
It's not ours. You don't understand. It'd be different if one of my officers said, "Hey, Rich, you record me. I'm taking it away." That's my officer, my local agency. Okay.
So you selectively enforce law depending on the people that the complaint is made against.
Jurisdiction over me. They have more. They may be allowed to do that.
If that person pulled out a gun and shot me, you would arrest them on the spot for murder, right? You wouldn't say, let me talk to the supervisor, let me bring the feds in.
If he's acting under his code of law, like me coming and shooting you, okay? It would be, I'm a police officer and I shoot you. Why did I shoot you? It would be investigated by the chief of police. They'd have the Hamilton County, they'd have people look into that, just like they do in any shooting. Federal level, they'd bring their own people in. At a federal level, they'll look at that. We would have BCI.
So who do we call? Can you call someone on my behalf on the federal level, get them down here while the crime scene is fresh?
I will talk to the supervisor. Just walked in here.
Okay.
And I'll talk with Jeff.
You want me to wait out here, or you want me to take my dog home and come back? Would that be best? Excuse me.
If you don't want your dog.
I didn't mean to spit on my own car, but I did.
If you don't want your dog to be out here.
I just don't want it to be used as a way to frame me for something like, he abandoned his dog or he put his dog, you know what I mean?
No. I mean, if you want to take your dog home.
Rich, right now, when I met with Jeff, he said, what are you doing for fun these days? Well, how do you spend your time? I said, I worry about the court case. I pace back and forth in my upstairs room. That's what I do. And I'm doing this for what? Notoriety? I'm doing it for money? What am I doing it for?
Your own self-righteousness?
I'm doing it for my own self-righteousness. Okay. Okay. Is that because it's me, or is that because, anyone that does something like what I'm doing is doing it for self-righteousness?
What do you mean?
You think what I'm doing is I'm doing it for self-righteousness?
Well, I'm sure you're doing it for the good of your cause, your good of yourself and the people, of what you believe.
I just had my camera threatened to be taken away. My property. From my hand. By this woman. And you're shaking your head like, yeah, that's cool kind of stuff. But this is America,
Okay,
Rich.
she's a federal agent.
That doesn't. That's the problem. Is laws for thee, not for me. She has the right. Go find out what the probable cause was.
I'm gonna go talk.
I was recording her. She also said that the give intent of what her intent was to take away my camera. She said, "I don't want video recorded." Am I allowed recording here on this property?
How many times have you done it? We've never done anything with it.
Never done anything with it. You don't know of any laws or rules that prevent me from doing it.
All the time.
And by the way, the reason I came in here today was to visit that monument right there, show respect to veterans and to my dad, and exercise my dog a little bit.
That's fine.
I saw the parking lot's crowded, so I come in. I saw a parking lot because I wasn't recording this part. I'm gonna go from memory, 100% truth as I remember it. I come in, I say to myself, I said, man, I even said it to them. I said, I never seen the parking lot so busy here at the PD.
It's gonna be full.
I'm like, I wonder what's going on today.
They have.
I said, I wonder what's going on today. And when I say what's going on today, I asked the lady, and she don't give me the kind of answer I want. And so I got my camera out. I want to create a record now. And I start recording. She says, "Are you recording me?" I said, "I plead the fifth." We'll see how much my memory serves, because at this point in the timeline.
But it's something I have to bring up with their supervisor, what they can and can't do.
I'll wait here, Rich.
You know.
If I'm going, I'll be coming right back.
That's fine.
Just drop the dog off.
Come back.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do that real quick.
Right.
Thanks, Rich. Thank you.
All right.
You're a good man. I don't know if it means anything to you. I ain't doing it to kiss ass or be self-righteous. I just very passionate about having my property threatened from me when I did absolutely no crime whatsoever. And then they go on. She's going on with whatever she's doing, and I appreciate you going and checking for me, Lieutenant. Thank you. Wow. Wow. The weaponization never ends, my friends. I want to say that twice because it sounded so good. The weaponization never ends, my friends. Now, I will say that there was another employee that came in. It's all on video, so I ain't going to say what I'm going to say. I'm just going to kill the video now so I can drive and get back up here. I'm going to start recording again because, hey, sir? I'd like to make sure I have enough room to back out.
Okay.
I'm right here legally parked.
I'm getting ready to leave. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. No worries. I appreciate your professionalism. How you doing, sir? Can I ask you a question when you get a chance? Okay. When you get a chance. So I guess the DEA is moving into Delhi. We went up and spent millions of dollars, doubled our assets in Delhi so that we can rent out the old building to another government agency that can come in and threaten my rights off the get-go. Sir, can I tell you about a story that I just experienced? Can I tell you, sir, about a DEA employee?
Get away from me right now.
Yes, sir. You have a good day. So I would estimate 7 feet away from that man. That seemed like a threat to me. Seemed very threatening department. They look like guilty people. This guy was 100% professional and nice. I will say that. This lady here looks like a nice lady. But the other woman, totally rude. Totally rude. Totally rude. We're coming back though. Go on, neighbor. I'm gonna leave my camera running, but I'm not gonna operate it. I'm just gonna set it down so I have a record. I'm very concerned about my safety right now. And I'm very worried about weaponization. That man right there, I feel threatened me. 7 feet away from him. It wasn't what he said, it was the tone in which he said it, but we're gonna come back up. Hey folks, I just wanted to complete the story of today with the DEA. So some of what didn't get posted was basically DEA agents ignoring me, one taking a picture of me. I assume I'm now a target of the DEA, and conversation I had with the supervisor on site of the DEA, who didn't want to take my complaint and said if I want I can call the DC office. So that's what I did. Called DC. They referred me to Detroit. I did speak with a man in Detroit that I think was the media relations guy. I told him my story. He was super nice. He actually was reassuring for me. So after the DEA event, you know, I had to, I don't know what you call it, I had to articulate some First Amendment activity. So, you know, I did a Jeff Gray because I have a lot of respect for him and what he does. I took my God Bless the Homeless Vet sign that I still had in my backseat of my car, and I went down on Rapid Run and Neeb Road on the intersection there, and I did my little, you know, spread the message thing, you know, and I try to get a little compassionate perspective while I'm there doing that, because I'm not the most compassionate person, I don't think. Sometimes I am, but, you know, I need to remind myself, and that was kind of an exercise for me to remind me about homeless vets as well. And, you know, for a while, I was down there a while. I didn't do the 15-minute thing. For a while, most people, you know, they're just ignoring you. And I tried to spark a little conversation here and there. And some people, I'd say, you know, God bless the homeless vets. And depending on how they looked at me, some people, I just let them know, hey, I'm not homeless. I'm not a vet. I'm just trying to bring attention and remind folks where we are on this issue as a country. And so after a long while, one lady, she had a cute dog. You know, as she was passing by, I think I might have said to her, because her window was down, I might have said cute dog or something. I'm not 100% sure, but she ended up pulling into the UDF, and, you know, I think she might have called me over or something. I went over and we had a nice conversation. And I just want to say thanks to her, because I appreciated the conversation that we had. She tried to offer me some money. And, you know, I turned it down. I told her I'm not a vet, yada, yada. I'm not a homeless person. I'm in my 50s and I'm actually retired. So, you know, I'm just trying to bring attention to, pause. So I'm just trying to bring attention to another constituency that I feel like our government is screwed over. And, you know, they're not alone. I'm sure there's a lot of loneliness in being homeless veteran, but they're not alone in the context of getting screwed over by government, in my opinion. So anyway, that's what I did, and 3 people stopped and offered me money. I want to thank them all. They were all super kind. I told one lady, you know, I told them all, I'm not homeless, I'm not a vet. And one lady that offered me money actually worked for a homeless shelter. So, you know, I thought that was interesting. I probably should have reached out a little bit more and made connections on some stuff like that. The first lady said, you know, if you're not taking money, what are you doing? And I told her about Jeff Gray and how, you know, he inspired me to do some of this, and that, you know, that's what some of it's about, is spreading the message. But, you know, she has a good point. And I said, you know, I probably do need to register with the state so I can maybe collect some money for these folks if I'm going to be out there anyway. But all that aside, I want to talk about the 4th person real quick. And, you know, he stopped over and I didn't see him drive by, so I hadn't had interaction with him. And he called me over, and you know, I made a bad assumption. As I walked up to the car, you know, I said, I just want to let you know, don't get your money out. I'm not homeless and I'm not a veteran. I'm just spreading the message. And, you know, he wasn't getting his money out. So, yeah, so I said, you know, I'm not homeless, not a vet, not looking for money or whatever. And he said, you know, I'm offering you a prayer. And I said, well, I'll take that. And so, you know, he prayed. And, you know, I don't want to go into his personality and his character or anything like that. But, you know, I will say that I told him about, you know, 3 people offered me money, and it wasn't about the money. It's about, you know, their heart and the message. And I told him, I said, you know, of all 4, I said, this one, you know, sticks out in its own right, or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what I said. But I'm a little shaken from the whole experience today, just because I'm very passionate about my rights and about what our government is doing to innocent people, and what they've been doing for a long time now. And so, you know, if you're one of the 10 people that listens all the way to the end, I appreciate it. If it's your job to listen to it all the way to the end, lawyer guy, then I apologize to you. That's my story, folks. I'm sticking to it, and I wish everyone a good thing. Right now I'm in court. Basically what happened to Jeff Gray is kind of what I'm going through. You know, I'm not going to get into the details of it, other than I will say that, you know, one of the things listed to strip me of my rights was audio video recording from a traditional public forum sidewalk. And I will say also that it's my opinion that there were some individuals that lied or told half-truths or deceits. That's my opinion. And you know, I'm trying to do it without a lawyer. I am doing it without a lawyer so far, and I'm pretty much been laying low, facing that fear and trying to make the right decision. And so I hope to expose the whole truth about what happened on that day at that location, and how a particular government entity is covering up a number of different things. That anyway, folks, y'all have a good time until my next video. I haven't posted in a long time, other than the one video about the vet guy, and the reason for that, frankly, is fear and intimidation by government. I'm not one of these guys like Long Island Audit who, you know, has the same courage level, I guess. I once had more courage than I do these days, but frankly, government scares the shit out of me. And, you know, I'm looking at the retaliation effects of it, of losing freedoms, losing finances, and or both. And I feel I've done nothing unlawful to warrant these things, but I'm trying to put up what fight I can put up, and still try to pursue a happiness in my life. So that's where I am. You know, I struggle with a lot of things. You know, it's just me doing this because I'm a self-righteous person, an SOB, or you know, it's just something I've truly been called to do. And as I mature and develop in doing this, I will become more impactful in ways that are really meaningful to some of the things and some of the ways that I feel like I can, you know, maybe have impact, be meaningful, and answer, if you will, certain calls that I feel I've been called to do. It's a lot of rambling. Later.